Grand evening, everyone. It is Monday, August 24th, 2026. It is 2100 hours Central Daylight Time here in the United States. And we have quite a few new developments, as always, especially when it comes to Russia and NATO and tensions within NATO. More specifically, those tensions are with Israel and Turkey. We are going to talk about all of those things and more here tonight on this initially live stream recording, as always. I think I missed it on Friday. I might not have been here, though I always try to come on here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, usually by 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time, or sometime shortly after that. Let me check the video and audio quality, and we will continue. The video quality is still pretty low. That's unfortunate. It's very difficult to run a 4K live stream, and this is not a 4K video even that I'm using on this camera. I've tried that some other times before. It really throws off the FPS. The FPS on the video quality here is way down for some reason. I don't even know if that's a hardware issue. It's very strange. That's likely part of it. The processors on this are pretty old now. That's likely what it is. The processor, and I don't think the GPU, but definitely has something to do maybe with the processors, the CPU. So continuing on, just don't hyper focus on the video quality of my camera here. We have had a Chinese cyber attack on a US company. So T-Mobile, their cyber staff, have revealed that it physically chopped the network cable after discovering Chinese hackers attempting to infiltrate its systems. So they physically chopped the network cable with like a cleaver or something because they had to stop the Chinese hackers from infiltrating its systems, and it being T-Mobile. So T-Mobile was being cyber attacked by China. That has happened, and that was just days ago on August 19th. Then we also have here, right above that, the Finnish Ministry of Defense has reported Russian aircraft. They violated their airspace. So, Russian aircraft has violated the Finnish airspace. Another violation for Russia. They violated quite a few different NATO countries and territories in the last few weeks especially. it's been very consistent with that. So, very concerning. The Russians are very much so preparing to invade the Baltic states and Poland. We have talked about this, I think, the last time. The U.S. intelligence has come out and said Russia is very likely to invade Poland within a month's time now. And I've also heard that there's about 800,000 Russian soldiers that are mobilizing to invade the Baltics and Poland, and more than that, other parts of NATO. They're starting with almost a million man army almost. About 800,000 troops are being mobilized and about to, most of them will be invading. It is very likely Poland and the Baltic states, being Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia. So, very concerning. We need to keep on preparing for when this war gets far more intense than it is even now. And it will. And it will not be long from now. I think it will really hit the fan, and everyone needs to be prepared within the next year. It will totally hit the fan, like almost like Mad Max. It'll look a lot like that. I like to use the Fallout, a more modern term. It'll be a lot like Fallout at this rate within a year. So keep on preparing for SHTF, and it's going to be very much like Fallout after that. If you don't know what Fallout is, it's a very popular game series and a TV show. It's a very good TV show too that they did with it. So I highly recommend watching and even especially playing those. It's going to be a lot like Fallout. At first, it will be like Leave the World Behind and The Purge, the Forever Purge, combined. That's what it's going to be like at first, and for a while. And, yeah, that's a good description. So then we have this here above that last one about the Russians violating the Finnish airspace. So Israel is thinking of attacking Turkey. And if they attack Turkey, Israel will likely get kicked out of NATO if they attack Turkey, and no country will support it. That's very likely. Israel can't conventionally fight all the countries they're at war with themselves, especially not Turkey, as I wrote there. So that is how that will go. Turkey is a very strong country. It's like Iran. Arguably more, it's right there next to Iran in power scale. The power of Turkey is right there with Iran. It's like it's like Goku and Vegeta. It's they're right there with each other. And Israel wants to attack another much more powerful country than itself. And the scary thing about that especially is Israel will use nuclear weapons if they are about to lose. They won't take a humble, they won't be humble and accept defeat. They won't accept the total defeat by another country. They will sooner use nuclear weapons than accept the total defeat. So that's a very scary thing about Israel. I just put this up. I thought it was funny. And then we'll put, let's see. This is insane. This is from Israel Government News on their X page from days ago. And it says right there, we will bomb Turkey again. And then someone in Turkey said that there. It's very funny. Very true. So Israel is going around threatening and taunting Turkey, a much more powerful country than itself. And it will not end well if they get into a direct conflict with Turkey. Not end well at all. They will not be, they are not, as they think they are, God's chosen people. It is not a holy land. It is just a land there. They use their old biblical stories that were written hundreds of years ago, and it's been changed over hundreds of years. So they use their old stories that they're sworn this land, all this land, and they think they're invincible. And if they get into a direct conflict with Turkey, they're going to really find out. And then they could even get nuked at any time from Iran or North Korea, Russia or China. They could get wiped out by a nuclear weapon at any moment, just as any other country can. They're not invincible. They think they are. They're delusional with their insane religion. That's a big problem with religion. There's a lot of delusional people in religion. So they have a lot of thinking to do. Israel really should not attack Turkey. It will be likely one of the last things they do. And it will gather a lot of the Middle East together against them and the world. It would not be good for Israel. They're a very small country. They have a pretty large military and strong military for how small it is, though they cannot stand for long against many countries. They're at war with several countries right now, Israel, and they are not invincible. So hopefully Israel does not try to fight Turkey on top of the several other countries they're fighting right now, and factions more accurately. They're fighting several factions at once. So really insane that Israel is trying to threaten and are even considering bombing Turkey. The price of oil, it's staying around the same, and that's because I've talked about it. I think it might have been the last time or the time before. It's part of Iran's strategy. Keep the price of oil about the same where it is, and make the SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, run out faster. We just released about, I think it was 4 million barrels from the SPR here in the United States. That's what President Trump just did. He released, I think, 4 million more barrels. That's because we're not getting imports from anywhere really either. So Iran just has to keep stopping imports. They have to keep stopping oil from being imported into other countries. They have to stop the exports going out from the Middle East. And they have to really make the other countries have to use their SPR. That's a big part of their strategy. That is a big part of what they are doing. The price of oil will still absolutely skyrocket as it gets much lower, and as more oil and gas refineries and other facilities and things related to it are being destroyed. So as more of those things are being destroyed, it will also cause the price of oil to absolutely skyrocket. So please keep on preparing. Do not get complacent. It is a very good time, and it is a necessity to prepare these days. No one can just not prepare these days. You have to prepare in some way. I always recommend physically, mentally, and spiritually, and physical assets like gold and silver and weapons and ammunition. Things like that. Physical assets, all of them, they have value of their own. And especially silver, it will be one of the most recognized currencies of the future. Silver and gold. In that order. Silver will be much more common, gold's more rare and much more expensive. So we also have the nuclear forces. They've been on very high alert. We've had multiple doomsday planes up in the air recently. That's the Boeing E-6B and the E-4B. They've been up in the air a lot recently. We had like 3 E-6Bs and I think 1 E-4B. They were all up at the same time, maybe 3. It was maybe a few days ago. Not long ago I saw that. And there's actually, I looked it up too, there's about 20 doomsday planes of those kinds. The E-4B and the E-6B, there's about 20. We've also had nuke sniffer planes up recently in parts of the United States, which is unusual, very strange. And at times we've had the over-the-horizon radar pretty active, and we've had a good amount of EAMs and quite a bit of encrypted data. I listened to all of that on, well, I listened to that on the frequencies, the primary nuclear war frequencies 11175 and 8992. Those are the primary nuclear war frequencies. And then as for the planes, you could look on a flight tracker like, I think it's Flight Radar 24. That's a really good one. In other news, we've had fires everywhere. There is now a massive fire outside of Reno, Nevada. So that is getting very close to the city. A lot of things have burned. Over 90,000 people have evacuated in that area. The National Guard is deployed there and in other parts of the country due to fires and storms recently. There was even dust NATOs. I think, no, it wasn't a dust NATO. It was a smoke NATO near Reno. So there's smoke NATOs and fire NATOs in these massive wildfires. And a lot of them have been started by people. And some of them have been caught, a lot of them haven't. It doesn't take much for fire to spread right now. It's that time of year. It's very hot, very dry. And speaking of dry, near Lake Mead, it's getting very low. There's a huge water problem in that area. You could also look into that more. It's really crazy. The water is running out in a lot of areas around Lake Mead. I always recommend stocking up on water too, and containers for them, whether that be glass or plastic, though glass is best. Either one. Stocking up on water is always a great idea. Storing it can be difficult if you're going to do longer term storage for water. Yeah, you have to store it very properly if you're going to store water longer term. I don't it's a very difficult thing to do, to store water long term. Well, that's a lot of what I do too. I stock up on water quite a bit as well. So please keep on preparing physically, mentally, and spiritually. And please like and comment on this video. It will be posted to here, right on this X page, and it will be posted on my YouTube channel as always, and the dedicated Facebook page. We have links to all of that in the description of this video. There's a link to the YouTube channel right there on my X page as well. And keep on preparing. This is going to get a lot more intense, this war, which is World War III. It is not the Iran War, it's World War III. And it is getting far more intense, and it is going to get more of the way people know it as, like just war everywhere. That is what it's turning into that more. Again, Russia will soon invade Poland and the Baltic states in very soon, potentially within a month's time. And Russia's allies will coordinate with them, and they'll do attacks all around the same time. Like China, they will soon invade Taiwan. Likely when Russia is invading Poland and the Baltic states and other parts of NATO, as they keep advancing. Likely after the Baltic states, Russia will go after the UK and take the UK, and this is what I think as part of their strategy. And after they take the UK, then they'll send a lot of their navy and maybe captured ships and conscripts, things like that. They'll send it across the Atlantic to here in the US and the East Coast. The United States is not half as safe as it used to be. That is very likely what will happen. Whether it happens that way, or missiles, or even nuclear weapons being detonated, it will be one of or all three of those things coming up as well. That's a little later on, though that is also coming up. So, as I was saying, please keep on preparing physically, mentally, and spiritually. I will be back Wednesday night. If not Wednesday night, then hopefully later on that same night around midnight, or Friday for sure. Friday night sometime. So do not get complacent and keep on preparing physically, mentally, and spiritually. I know I've said it like 3 times. And love, light, and blessings to you all, as always.